I'm an ex-managing director of an international firm, and I made my first pot of gold through climbing the corporate ladder and my salary as the baseline for my initial investment. However, my money was really made in investing, and that is how I got to financial freedom. So I'm making these videos to help share some of my mistakes, but also successes along the way. And I hope that there are other people that can get curious and take some of my advice for an earlier financial freedom. Before you think about investing, firstly, you should always put money aside as an emergency fund. So again, I suggest about 6 to 9 months worth of money set aside so that you can put it into a high yields savings account where it's flexible and you can actually access it at any point in time. A lot of the high yield savings account are not within traditional retail banks. You need to Google for it, but they would pay up to say 4% interest, and that's an emergency fund that you should have before you start any type of investing. Second is I have a retirement fund through a traditional IRA that anyone can open if they're a US citizen. So you can either open up a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA. People think that there's a lot of differences, but the only real difference is whether you're taxed today or taxed later on. So if you open up a traditional IRA, you can contribute $7,000 annually into your account, which then is invested into usually mutual funds and makes about 8 to 10% in terms of year-on-year growth. So that money, you can't access it until your retirement age, but it can grow without taxation for the next 20-30 years. Thirdly, I would have a brokerage account, which I invest in the US stock market. Again, I used to contribute, say, 10% up until then, later 40% of my income into this fund. And then I would invest in things from aggressive tech stocks like your NVIDIA, your Palantir, your Microsoft, Meta, to more conservative blue chip stocks that would give me dividends like Coca-Cola, Walmart, Citigroup, as well as ETFs such as VOO, QQQ. So this is a third source of fund, and usually my stock portfolio can grow higher than 10 to 12%. And it's just a habit of being able to constantly contribute into this investment fund on an annual basis. So my goal is that my stock fund can actually grow to a size where I can actually make money off of dividends, and I can live on that as a passive income alone.